All right, so I had several of you just ask me to briefly go over UFLI Foundations um, lessons. So I'm just going to turn to one of the lessons that has all the components in it. In the beginning, when you start the first few lessons, they don't have all the components because it slowly builds on. This is for a classroom setting, so teachers need to slowly add on things and not do everything at once with a whole group. That's just kind of how it has it broken down. But anyways, I'm just going to quick go over each of the sections, and then I might do one or two other videos just kind of expanding upon it. So I'm just going to do the basics of what each element is. So right here, it's the phonemic awareness. And for the blends, you will say the sounds. So this is just when you see the N with the two dashes there, that's the N sound rather than saying N. So N, E, T, S. And then your child will put it together, nets. If your child isn't able to put it together yet, that's fine. Say the sounds and put it together. Repeat it one more time and have your child say the sounds with you. The segment then is you saying the word pats, and your child is now stretching out each of the sounds. And again, if your child isn't at the level where they can do that independently yet, that's fine. Model it. Pats, p, at, s, pats. And as they hear you keep doing it every day, as they hear you doing it, they'll start getting used to it, and they'll be able to do it as well. Now, when you're doing these, your child isn't seeing anything. This is just them listening. So no seeing, just listening for both of those. For this next one, it is a visual drill. So you can hold up the letter E from a flashcard, any flashcard from the dollar store, or just write it on a note card and just flash it up. And you want them to say the sound. They're not saying E, eh. Do not have them say the letter name. Keep it eh. The reason why I'm saying no letter name first is because when you flash them an E, you want their immediate thought to be eh, the sound, because when you read, you want the sound to be your first cue, not the letter name E. That does not help you with reading. Do you need to know the letters names for other purposes? Yes, but for reading, you really want to focus on attaching the eh to the E there. So then you'll go over these, and then for this is the auditory drill. You will say the sound eh, and they can point to an E. They can write an E on a piece of paper. They can write an E in the sand. They can skywrite it. Whatever it is, their connection is supposed to be what the shape looks like, or the letter shape looks like based on the sound. So you'll say the eh, and they'll write E in some manner. If their hand is not ready for writing yet, have them pull a letter tile or point to it, or whatever you want to do that isn't writing. For the blending drill, this is quick. So you are manipulating the letters as the adult. So you're putting in the new sound, one new sound at a time, and going through each of these. They have on their website, UFLI, they have a really nice blending board that's free. It's like a little app, but you can use it on the computer, your phone, whatever. And you just have to do a one tap to change the letter, so it changes it really quickly. So it's able to have like quick blending. Then this is your lesson. So like the new concept is introduced here. Everything is out here. You have it all right here. You can read it directly off of this. The website UFLI does have PowerPoints or Google Slides that go with each of the lessons. And it is sometimes nice to use it for this because they have like a visual cue and several slides that go with the concept. Do you have to use it? No. If you don't want to do screens, then you don't have to. I did use it the first few times we went through it, but this last time we're going through it, I'm just writing it down or just talking through it with Savannah. But I'll talk about that then in another video. Anyways, so the next thing then is read and spell, and you would read maps, and then we do, so then you would read these all together. Then for spell, you would model spelling pats, and then you would have work together to spell these other words. Again, I was talking to a few families who don't have kiddos ready for writing. That's fine. If your child isn't ready to write, you can spell with letter tiles, and you can do this as like teamwork. So if you say the word, let's spell the word maps, and they can hear the letter M, but then the rest is a bit daunting for them, put the letter M and you yourself do the rest of the word, saying ah. Okay, I know A says ah. I'm going to drag the A here. P. Okay, I hear a P sound. I know that's P. I'm going to drag the P here. So you can work together. Because in a classroom setting, this would be a whole group. It wouldn't be one-on-one the whole time. The next one is word work. Now, this is where your child is moving the letters, the cards, however you want to have your letters, the chalk, the stones, whatever you have your letters written on, they're the ones manipulating this. So you would start with the word mat, have them drag the letters. You would change that, and you would say, you would keep them, hold them, have them at there. And we're going to say, we're going to add a S at the end. Now, what does it say? Oh, it says mats. Now you get to your next one and you're going to say, oh, I want to switch the T for a P. What does it say? So you're kind of switching it, having them practice reading it. And you're going to switch between how you're saying it. So sometimes you want to just say, oh, put the S at the end of the word, or put the S at the end. So depending on what you do, you're having them practice two different things, right? So if you're telling them to put the S at the end, they have to be able to locate the S. Whereas if you're telling them to put the S at the end, now they have to remember the sound when they're stretching out the word again. The next thing is these would be what people would call sight words or high frequency words. They would be down here. Anything that has the asterisk is only temporarily irregular, and that just means that they haven't learned these patterns yet at this lesson, but these words they use in the reading passages, which is why they have to know them. So like the word see is actually not, it is a high frequency word, right? But it doesn't have to be a sight word because the S makes the sound, which S does, and E says E. So it's not technically irregular. It's just because they don't know the EE pattern at this point in the curriculum, which is why it's there. You can write these words on a note card, or you can go on to UFLI and print them off. They have them where you can print them off and use them as flashcards like that. The next section is the connected text, and this is you would just be reading the sentence, or they would be reading the sentence, sorry. They would be reading the sentence and then spelling these sentences out. And then there are decodable texts that are on UFLI, so you can print out. And I love the decodable text because They only use the sounds that are being covered in the lesson. So they have great practice before they're going and trying to work in the decodable passage. And then these are just more word chains and word lists. So these word chains would be great if you're working on this lesson for multiple days for the word work. They have a word chain here. Just switch it out for a new word chain if you want more practice. And then the word lists, these are great for just practicing, like mixing it up rather than having just one letter switching out. This would be potentially having multiple. So if you said bats and then bops, you're having multiple letters switch out. So that's why these word lists are helpful as well.